It is 10:21. If you take a little time to notice, you may notice there's a lot of purple around the state this month because June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. And joining me now to talk about this more is Kristen Casado, the Director of Communications at the Alzheimer's Association's Connecticut chapter. I'm also happy to have on the show geriatric psychiatrist Dr. Harry Morgan. Thank you both for being here. Doctor, we will get to you in a second, but Kristen, I want to start with you. Just talk about the month and what you're trying to encourage families to do.
Absolutely. June, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Signature color is purple, so we've got purple all over the state.
Yeah.
And what we want people to do is talk about memory concerns, talk about memory loss, have that challenging conversation with your loved one, have the conversation about what should we say, how should we get this around to the doctor, when do we bring our concerns to the doctor? Those are the big questions.
And because it can be a delicate conversation, doctor, to have, and I especially would imagine that some people, rightly or wrongly, just assume that some memory loss and some cognitive decline is a natural part of getting older and wouldn't think twice about it. What do you tell people who think that way?
It is true that many of us as we get older have trouble finding a word, have a little bit, but not a pervasive sense of decline where you may forget bills, you may forget key names of people, appointments may be missed. So that I tell people, although some of this is just normal, the reality is when you begin to have it happening in more areas, it's time to have an assessment. And it's very important that families be aware of the importance of having that assessment.
Now, when it's time to go get that assessment, when you want to go into the doctor's office, again, I think another assumption people tend to make is that they're going to let the doctor do all the talking and tell them what's going on. That's the furthest thing from the truth. You need to be proactive. So what should people do when they get into the doctor's office?
Well, the first thing, we got to get our loved one there. And I think the key issue there is trying to find what they're bothered with. It may be word finding. It may be that they can't find things. Mom, Dad, we're going to go. I need to let you know we're seeing this problem. Let's go talk to the doctor. When you get to the doctor, most physicians are taking blood pressure, looking in your throat and your eyes and your heart. You need to come to them with a sense of, here, we have some specific concerns. We've been noticing changes in Mom. And Mom's given me permission to talk to you. We advise people to bring a short list to the doctor about what they're seeing for symptoms, because you're on the spot often for 5 or 10 minutes. And you may not get the answers today, but what you want to get through to the doctor is, there's a change, there's a problem, where do we go from here?
While we have a little time, I imagine sometimes the hardest part is getting that loved one to agree with it. Do you have any advice for people to sort of start that portion of the difficult conversation, even before you get to the doctor?
Absolutely. And I think the hardest thing is hit somebody over the head and say, you're going. You may have to do that eventually. But it really, I think, is to listen to what Mom or Dad or husband or wife are struggling with, knowing if it's a problem for them. But don't say, oh, we want to go have you checked for Alzheimer's. It may then be, I want to have you checked for why you're having trouble with the checkbook, or why you keep forgetting appointments. It's something that they agree that they're having trouble with. Then you get in the door, and then you begin to have this dialogue.
Part of the reason why, the fact that these can be difficult conversations to have is, I think, one of the big impetuses why you want to have a lot of people wearing purple, so it's less taboo. What are you doing? You were even just listing off a lot of the towns and around the state that are going purple for this.
Let me just first really quickly tell you, Tim, that if anybody has any questions about anything dementia related, we have an 800 number. We have a 24/7 helpline that is free, and it is, gosh, so chock full of information. So it's 800-272-3900, and perhaps we can throw it on your website later on. And that's our helpline. So call for any questions about, including questions about what do I say at the doctor's office? How can I get in there?
And we've got that right on the screen. You can see
fantastic.
it right there.
Oh, thank you. So in addition, Bradley Airport, there's signage up there. There is the Chihuly, the Fairfield firefighters went all in purple. The Chihuly statue in Mohegan Sun is turning purple, that big, beautiful glass statue. All these towns, Danbury and Morris, and I think Fairfield and Westport, Ansonia, they're going to paint a purple line down the middle of the street. So anybody who wants to go purple, please join us. This is about really raising awareness. We have our 7 walks to end Alzheimer's in the fall, but this is about let's take a look at what's happening in your family, because as many of us know, when this disease hits you, it hits your family like a Mack truck.
Absolutely.
And then you're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Well, we would like to give you some education and some tools so that if it does happen, you're ready.
Yeah, and this is to say nothing of the fact that this is expected to be an exploding problem over the next 20 or 30 years as the American public is living longer because it's an age-related disease. So unfortunately, there's a good chance you or somebody you know may have to have this conversation within the next 10 to 15 years. So get on it now, wear some purple. Kristen, doctor, thank you so much for being here.
You, Tim.
A pleasure to have
Appreciate
you here. Doctor, thank you so much.
Very good.